What up, everybody? It's your boy, Joshua Slay, back with another video, guys. Let's put this over here for a second. A lemon drop. Definitely a good candy if you guys like lemons. So guys, I'm doing this video for since I just started watching the Tales from the Dark Side series. Just watched the first disc. By the way, if you haven't seen this show, definitely go check it out because I've watched only the first disc and so far I'm already hooked. This show, to me, kind of reminds me of Goosebumps, The Twilight Zone, Tales from the Crypt, Are You Afraid of Dark, all rolled into one series. It kind of reminds me of that. And it's such a good movie, series. I think my favorite episode so far, I have two. And I'm going to tell you about the two I have right now. The first episode I saw was Trick or Treat. That's my first favorite. And the second episode, I believe, I'm going to check that out because I forgot what it's called. But I'm going to check the box real quick for that one. Okay, guys, let's see if we can see what the box says. The second episode is. Okay. It's like disc 1. The Odds, that's what it's called. The episode's called The Odds. So Trick or Treat is basically about this. There's this guy. He runs a store, and it's kind of like an old farming town. It's like a store, and he's very rich, and he's like a miser, and he never likes to give out money. And everyone in the town, almost everyone owes him money. Okay, so every Halloween he has this thing called Trick or Treat, where he allows the kids of the families that he owe him money, they go into the house, okay? Go into his house and try to find his parents' IOU balance bill from his store. If the kid can find it, he becomes the kid's family's entire debt is written, okay? But he never plays fair, actually, when he does it. He tries to scare the kids out of shitless to the point where they don't want to do it no more. He tricks them. He'll mess with them. And finally, in the end, gets to the story is he gets his comeuppance when the other world to the Halloween, and the people from, I guess, either Karma or the other world of the underworld finally says, fuck your shit, man. That's not how you should treat somebody. And they end up doing the same thing that they did to him, that he's been doing to the kids the entire time to him. And when one of the kids earlier who wants to go, whose dad did not want him to go, wants to go finally. In the end, he's end up the winner of this entire thing. What happens is this guy was so rich and so, such a miser that he was afraid of anyone taking his money. So he goes into the house and, he has a safe in one of his rooms. And when a witch comes into the house, because he lets her in thinking it's a kid, he automatically gets terrified. A bunch of other things terrify him. He realizes he forgets about his money for a second there. He goes to run to check his safe. The safe is fine. And then he opens the safe. And then a ghost or a monster makes the money in the safe and all his valuables fly everywhere. And he tries to go find it. And then he finally finds... he opens one door and it says it's hell. And there's the devil and all these other creatures. And the devil says, getting warmer, you're hot, you're on fire. And if you don't get, the joke was that he was do that from the kids because he would have speakers in the house and pulleys and levers to fuck with the kids while they were trying to find this shit. And he would tell them when they were getting closer to the IOUs and one kid earlier was so close, but he got startled at the very end and just got chased out. I like that. I liked it though. So the kid that parents didn't want him to go at all ends up going, And this is way after like everything, like all like all this during most likely in between this, and all you see before that is the old man kind of like cowering in fear and in front of the devil, and then he goes into the house and the witch opens the door and just like she throws him all this his money, his jewelry, the IOUs, everything, and all the valuables. The kid just starts loading his pockets with this shit and like puts in his and then with the IOUs, and it shows him walking out of the house, walking down the steps across the cemetery. And in the cemetery is the old man's headstone, and it reads, "Getting warmer, hot, hot. You're on fire." And then it says his name, and then it says, "He's in," and then it says hell or something like that, I believe. And it was like, damn, that was a good episode. That was the episode that started off the season 1. I mean, like literally, that's season's season 1 first episode. That's what I liked about it so far. Or that I think that was season 1's first episode. I'm not sure. The men's DVDs will always play like in like actual season wise, like the first episode that was aired. Oh, sorry guys. Okay, so back to the video. Where was I at now? Next one is the odds. Okay, that's the second one. It's my favorite so far. Odds is basically one of those. It's about this guy. He's a gangster, kind of like Card Shark, and he works out of a bar with his friend, or I would say accountant, and his friend's trying to get him to use a calculator, and he doesn't want a calculator because calculators to him are stupid. So all the math is up here, Well, at that time I'm like, dude, just use a calculator, but at the time I probably realized that maybe he doesn't need one, but he's not good at what he does. So anyways, one guy comes in and he bets on the horse races, okay? And this guy at first is like, he doesn't know who he is. And he's like, but the horse races are already over, but it's actually a lapse in time. The time wasn't really well, so the horse race was stalled due to weather, but then the weather clears, so they go to the horse race. He puts a bunch of money on this one horse that's doomed, that's not to win at all, and he ends up winning this guy. So he gives him money. Then he does another bet, he wins him money, and then finally he bets the most he says, he makes it double or nothing is the final bet, and he says, "I bet the Card Shark that you will die tomorrow at 8:00 a.m. or p.m. or whatever it's in. I think it's at a.m. or p.m. I think it's a.m. he said, or p.m. I don't know which time he actually said, but I loved how they referred to the beer in this show was soaps. Like he would say to his buddy, I forgot his buddy's name, like, "Yo, give me a soap, please." And I'm like, okay, that's actually a really funny way to say it, because beer is foamy and it kind of looks like soap. The foam kind of looks like soap. You get it? But that's what he called it, soap. Give me that. Give me one of those soaps, bro, dude. He said, I don't remember the dude's name. So, anyways, he goes up to the dude earlier, and they're talking about it. So the next day, the guy brings in with another man. The man tells one of the other dudes to show the money. They're making a lot of money. They pull up a briefcase. They always do in like one of those gangster movies, the briefcase, to show the person. Then the other person shows up their briefcase, show them that there's enough money, there's money in there. Then they put the briefcases side by side. Okay, here's what happens. So they're waiting hour by hour, minute by minute, and then it's 7:55. Okay, and the guy said, "I have 5 minutes left. If I don't die by 8:00, I get your money and I keep my own." And 5 minutes go by, and he didn't die. And he gives him the money, and it turns out that he was one of the people that they were talking about earlier in the video, that a guy that they kept betting and betting and betting and didn't know when to quit until he owed too much money, and rather than pay it back like a normal person would or could try to, he committed suicide, leaving behind his wife and 3 children. And to the gangster, that was shameful, because it is shameful technically in a way. and he ends up and then the scene is he. But the problem when after he leaves, the dude leaves. He goes basically just walks into thin air and disappears. Okay, with the other dude because he was dead, and turns out he was going to die. The problem is that he says he starts laughing, and the dude says what's so funny, and he says he forgot about the turn the clock ahead 2 hours stick. Had an hour stick, stick, that. Where he basically, what he did was, they were using a big wall clock to tell the time, and it clicked it, then moved the hour ahead. So when it said 8 o'clock, it would really be 9 o'clock, but he didn't know that. So he still won, and the scene is like he's writing his last will and testament. And all the entire scene, he tells his friend, it's like the calculator makes this weird kind of like musical sound every time you use it. And he tells his friend he wants him to play with the calculator at his funeral. And he's writing his last will and testament, and he says, I'm giving you everything I own when I die. Everything. You will be taken care of for the rest of your life. And he's like, but dude, why are you talking about this? You're not going to die. So I am going to die. Because it's not really 8 o'clock. That's where he tells him tells him the entire story. How he tricked him, and then he's just laughing and laughing because he finds it funny that he tricked this dude, and then finally he goes up. He tells his friend, "Can you give me another bag of give me another soaps? So I'm thirsty, Well, beer is actually supposed to beer will make you actually make you more thirsty than it's supposed to make you less thirsty, because it's it's alcohol, so alcohol kind of dries you up. Anyways. Back to so he says okay, and he goes to the bartender who's like a friend of theirs, and he says 2 soaps please, and they notice that the guy is still laughing, and then finally he goes to his friend, and his friend has like a dazed look on his face, like eyes are like this. A dazed look with a grin, and he's trying to wake his friend up, and he realizes his friend is dead. And that's the end of the episode. And that's basically it. He never even got to take a sip of his beer. He just died right in the middle of laughing. And that was a great episode. I thought it was hilarious, too. The entire episode itself. Not him dying, but it was a great episode. Definitely go check. I'm going to do more reviews on these later. Guys, like, comment, and subscribe if you haven't done so already. I will probably do more reviews on Tales from the Dark Side maybe tomorrow. So I'm probably going to watch one tonight. And like, comment, subscribe if it does already, guys. And I'll see you in the next video. Please do share my videos on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and anywhere else where you share videos, by the way, guys. Like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you in the